speaking of Harford County, tonight Harford County Sheriff Jeffrey Gahler is joining calls for the White House to do more to secure the border. Fox 45's Maxine Stryker sat down with him and continues our team coverage. Maxine?
Well, Kai, we talked about everything from the moment the Marin family found out an arrest had been made in the case to his calls for change to immigration policy. Your office announced on Saturday the arrest of Victor Martinez Hernandez. Was this, in a way, a sense of relief, some closure for you, for the family, of course?
There's no forgetting Rachel. Her children will never forget her. I hope we bring some sort of sense of peace and moving this chapter, the open investigation, past, that there's some relief in the family's understanding and our community's understanding that this murderous, horrible person is no longer out there in the community, in anyone's community, able to do such a thing again.
What was it like that moment you were able to tell them that there was a warrant?
Came about very fast. What we thought might be a week or two down the road came about in a matter of hours, letting me know that they're going to reach out to the families, have the families come in. So we went and met with them. And then again, like I said, we thought it was going to be a period of time and asked them please not to share it with anyone else. And it turned out five hours later, I was at home in bed asleep. My phone rang at midnight, and I was so excited with the arrest, I couldn't go back to sleep.
What ties do you think he had here to Harford County?
It's still part of the active investigation. So we believe we have identified, a link here into our community, links, plural, down into around Prince George's County and the Northern Virginia area.
And you believe that Marin just happened to be a random person? There was no link between the two of them. He may have been watching her on the trail, and
we don't know. My suspicion, based on my experience, would be that somewhere along the way he saw her. He became, if they never met, he became infatuated with her, and he laid in wait for her on that trail. That would be my suspicion, but right now we don't know which one it was.
So he was an illegal immigrant, fled from El Salvador after allegedly committing a heinous murder there. This is the second time, correct, that this has happened here in Harford County with Kayla Hamilton in recent years. Why do you think this is happening here?
Well, I think it's happening everywhere. I think that you didn't hear, it wasn't a sheriff's office case last year, or I would have been just as public with the outrage that should be shared, that there are people being allowed to unchallenged to come into this country because we haven't secured the border, who are allowed to come into the country not to make a better life for themselves or for their family, but they're coming here to do evil deeds. And this guy showed it within a month of coming into the country, violently assaulting a home invasion and violently assaulting a 9-year-old and her mother.
And you're calling these failed immigration policies. You had a strong message for the White House on Saturday. What is that message, and what is the answer to fixing this? What would you like to see done?
Well, I think we need to go back at least to some of the Trump-era policies that had the border much more secure. The border problem, the border crisis has been a problem. I've been in office 10 years. I wrote a letter back in 2019 calling for a more secure southern border. That's when President Trump was in office. Because of the flow of fentanyl across the southern border. We have a responsibility, those of us that have taken an oath of office to protect the citizens. There's no greater responsibility in being allowed to serve, and yet we turn a blind eye to the border crisis.
Is there any way that you're thinking on how you can change things when it comes to immigration policy? Can you go to Annapolis next year? I mean, what are you thinking about? What's next with this?
We're in Annapolis a lot, and some of my critics want to say the sheriff doesn't belong in Annapolis. Well, I disagree with that. I have the law enforcement experience. I ran on a platform of immigration needed to be fixed. I don't think Annapolis is up to the job of fixing it. Unfortunately, they seem to be more interested in going the other way. But I think Congress is where the federal immigration system, it falls under the United States job, and I think it's Congress's job to get together in a bipartisan effort and fix it. And again, it's been a problem for decades, but nothing like we see today.
Now, Gahler expects that the suspect will be back in the state here in Maryland by the end of this week, if not early next week, arriving by plane. Reporting live, Maxine Stryker, Fox 45 News.
I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching. Here's another video for you to watch. Also take some time to subscribe to our YouTube channel.